So we are coming to the next segment. In the first part, we spoke about the spirituality. In this section, I want to cover a little bit, which is again, there are a lot of confusion. We need more clarity from you, from the masters, from the scriptures. Please guide us on will and free will. And you're the right person. You're the right person for it.
All sessions are very difficult to do.
But yeah, it is not me asking. It is coming from somewhere.
I mean, youngsters today talk more about free will.
Ji.
The masters talk about will and free will at a higher and a later stage. By will, I mean I am guided by some rules and responsibilities. I will do for my family. I have to do for my family. When you sit down with the masters, the free will is the concept after your will.
Okay.
When you attain a certain level of maturity, integrity, truthfulness, loyalty, then you can talk about free will. But people have confused will to free will. They have started with free will.
Ji.
It is the higher stage of consciousness, but they started at the lower stage that this is my life, my way, however I wanted, the way I wanted. They confused this with free will. It's my life.
Ji.
But every life needs to be guided in a certain pattern so it attains what the soul is here for. There are two ways to guide a soul or a human being that, look, you are here for a reason. This is your journey. One is the standard definition. A Hindu should live like this. A Guru ka pyara or Sikh should live like this. A Christian should live like this. A Parsi should live like this. A Muslim should live like this. First is a criteria or general judgment of living. That does not mean you have to be very, very, rigid about the fact that I am born here and I will live like this and cannot tolerate others. It's not like this. It's a way to get you into the pattern. So the first thing is your will. And after attaining the maturity, you get free will. The masters do not recommend to have free will for their subjects or students or their pupils or their disciples at the first stage. It is a very difficult process to live your life under the master. Because you have to sarva sarnagati, total surrender to your master. You cannot ask questions that why I need to get up 3 o'clock in the morning and have a bath when it is 2 degrees outside.
No.
It needs to be done because that time the chakras need to be activated. You need to sit down in this manner and this is your daily routine. The will has been decided by somebody, some system, some God, some way or the other. Once you are attuned in that way of life and you become understanding of what Sikhism is, what Buddhism is, what Hinduism is, what are they trying to tell you? You know, I'm not talking more about religion. I'm talking about the principles and the way of life.
Yeah.
After that, the way you become, then comes free will. My free will is what? My free will is if bad is happening, how to avoid it or how to control it.
Yeah.
Once my will is done, I know I have a certain pattern of life. Then I have free will.
Okay.
Today's generation, I'm sorry to say, starts with free will.
Free will.
When you have no principles in life, you have no guiding force, you have no path, fixed pattern of life, that this is the way my journey needs to be done. I always say, madness is not the essence of my life. Being a man, being a human being is not the essence.
Hmm.
There is a certain pattern, a certain way to my life. After that way, the free will starts. The free will says, okay, fine, this is my goal, but I have set a higher and a probably stronger goal. What is not required out? So it is said that, okay, fine, I take upon my responsibility to feed, let's say, 20 cows. I take on the responsibility. My dharma says that I need to share my wealth.
Yeah.
10% of my wealth I need to share with others, people who need it, animals who need it, places who need it. Now I decide that, okay, fine, God has made me comfortable, not 10%, I'm going to share 30%.
Yeah.
There is a thin line between will and
Will
free
and
will.
free will.
That free will concept has been twisted and turned
Absolutely.
to
Absolutely.
live the way I want to live. Nobody is forcing you to live, but everybody is forcing, nature is forcing us to live perfectly, in harmony, the right way.
Because the another reason to bring this segment was, which needed a lot of clarity, and you were the best person to do that, because some people, some of the audience think, जो नए जने हैं, that by doing a free will, we can bring the desired result. Is it possible?
Most of the
Or
time, most of the time, no. Certain times, yes.
okay.
Most of the time, no. You see, you are, or people are confusing consciousness, abilities to free will.
Okay.
What are the desired results? The desired result come with discipline. The discipline needs a will, a strong will, and not a free will. So you want results, like I want to be the topper in the university exams. You cannot have a free will. You need more will and discipline for it. I need to study so many hours. Free will is, I can do it tomorrow. Will is, there is no tomorrow. Finish what is today first. A huge difference. That is why I said there is a very thin line.
line.
You can, if you go by will, we never say God's free will. You always say that word, God's willing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You never say God's free willing.
Absolutely.
Because the powers, they know how to guide you.
Yeah.
And once they put you on a certain path, you have to follow that level of discipline, and that is will. Free will comes at a later stage. That is for a higher consciousness. That I have 10 disciples today, I can teach 9. I can teach one more areas because he or she is more inclined. But when you're talking about will, everybody is equal. So today, if I decide to teach 300, 400, 500 students and pick 50, the best one out of them, then that is my free will. But is that the right way?
Yeah.
Everybody is equal to me. If you understand astrology or you don't understand astrology. If you're coming to learn, you are the same. But my free will says that, okay, fine, why waste time with the other slow ones?
Only pick 50.
Why not pick the best ones? It makes the task easy for me. This is free will. But this free will, is it right? You tell me, will it be a right decision?
No, absolutely no.
Then I have to follow my will. My will says that, okay, my discipline is everybody's. That is why, you see, to control the society, to control human beings who have different level of IQs, who have different desires, who have different emotions, until unless you make certain guiding principles in society, how do you expect them to govern? How do you expect to live or control that society? It's a simple thing. Hinduism says be sattvic, eat vegetarian. Why? Because non-vegetarian will create certain ill desires or aggressiveness in you, which will not be able to control yourself. So it is not a religion. It is a good scientific thing. Today, scientists are saying, okay, fine, leafy vegetables are good, lentils are good. Having pork, non-vegetarian, killing an animal is creating certain problems in you.
Okay.
If you say it scientifically, it is science. But for everybody, if I put it a universal code, it becomes a religion. My religion says you can have free will only when you are super consciously elevated to understand that, okay, this is my will. This is needed out of. So if you ask me the difference between will and free will, I would say free will is something that is at the higher level of consciousness. You cannot exercise it at the initial level. That today I am a youngster, I am born in this generation, you cannot guide me. I am free, I have a free will. People make a lot of mistakes when they are with intoxications, with not undisciplined life, not knowing in which direction to go. You reach your 30s, mid 20s, and you are directionless. What an unfortunate thing to be in a very unfortunate position.
Ji.
Half of your life you are already wasted, which should have been your forming years to take care of the other half in the most perfect manner. Everybody has free will. Everybody can exercise free will. But do you have the brains to differentiate or to understand, or the discipline that if I've been given free will, let me use it in the best manner?
Yeah, in one of the previous section, I think it was 2 years back, 3 years back, where you spoke very little on the free will part. I think there was one of the subscriber, I don't remember the name. She was trying to explain the free will part, and she asked the question that, can you please guide us that if a 6-month-old fellow or infant or a 3-month infant, that was her question at that time, fell from the bed. So was it destined, or was it a part of a free will? Was it a will? What exactly was that? Or a guy who's crossing the road and get hit by a car. He did not want it to do that. So that was the question. And just like you mentioned, a lot of people get confused with this terminology and the understanding of that. And that is why I wanted to brought the segment today.
You see,
they confuse with the destiny part.
It is, Aman, understand something. It is very easy to put everything on destiny.
Yeah.
Krishna says to Arjun at the battlefield that what is karma? One who needs to understand these simple concepts. Why I say simple? Because they are written in the scriptures, they are explained very beautifully.
Yeah.
It is difficult for us humans to understand because nobody is reading Gita.
Yeah.
You want all your questions in life, all your questions, any and every question to be answered in your life, just pick up Gita, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and just start reading it. What is destiny? If Arjun did not pick up the arrow, bow and arrow, and fought his own family, he had already lost everything.
Absolutely.
Karmas change destiny. You need to make sure that the little infant does not fall from the bed. If you made sure, that infant will never fall from the bed. He's not going to pop out of the bed and fall. He or she.
Right. Right.
Like a missile, not get up. Somewhere when I start blaming or not accepting responsibility, the beautiful term fate comes. I am crossing the road. It is my responsibility to save myself. I do not know a drunkard is driving or somebody with failed brakes is driving. Is it my responsibility to save myself? I have to look both ways and see whether my pace is or whether this direction to cross the road is right or not. Human nature is to blame
Blame.
on any and everything. Today's generation, children are blaming their parents. Relatives are blaming other relatives. Brothers and sisters are blaming each other. Husband and wife are blaming each other. The concept is very simple. I have come here alone. I will die alone. I have to mend myself, correct myself. There are tools to help you. There are scriptures. Then there is this beautiful astrology to help. It can guide you how to go. But if you
Beautiful.
keep blaming on fate, that is not, it's a very beautiful statement. If you're born poor, it's God's will. But if you die poor, it's your own will.
Got the answer.
So
Bedi.
then practice free will at a later stage when you have more discipline to understand.
More consciousness. Jay. Thank you. Thank you, Bedi. Thank you.